Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekara. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Government allocates 25,000 rupees for home cleanup. Dry ration aid increased to 10,500 rupees. Global support continues. India opens airspace for Pakistan's humanitarian flights to Sri Lanka. Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra flood relief mission delivers aid by air, land and water across Sri Lanka. 22 bodies recovered after landslide in Nelumgama Hasalaka. 15 dead in Ududumbara. Advanced level second phase in January. Universities reopen on the 8th of December. Rain expected in several regions starting Thursday.
The government has announced a major relief package for families affected by the recent emergency disaster situation. Each household returning to their homes will receive 25,000 rupees to cover essential cleaning and restoration costs.
In addition, the weekly allowance for dry rations previously based on family size and ranging from 2,100 rupees to 10,500 rupees has been officially increased with cabinet approval. Now, this move aims to ensure adequate food supplies for displaced families. Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, elaborated on the matter.
Initially, the requested amount per family was 10,000 rupees. However, the Ministry of Finance has approved an increase, raising this amount to 25,000 rupees per family. The total allocation is 7.5 billion or 7,500 million, which officials have been instructed to disburse urgently. Through this initiative, we hope it will serve as a starting point for our citizens to rebuild their lives. Moving forward, we aim to continue implementing necessary measures to ensure the success of this program. This has been made possible due to the effective financial management practices carried out by the Treasury under the Ministry of Finance, which prioritize transparency and eliminating corruption. For such disaster situations, approximately 30 billion rupees has been set aside, and it is from these funds that the required allocations have been provided. Additionally, until now, affected families were eligible to receive 3,600 rupees per family member. That amount has now been increased to 10,500 rupees per family. Through these interventions by the Ministry of Finance and the Treasury, the goal is to activate mechanisms swiftly so that the impacted can restart their lives as quickly as possible.
President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake has instructed state officials to rise above routine circulars and daily work patterns and act decisively for the nation during this critical period. The directive was issued during a Zoom discussion with provincial governors and chief secretaries focusing on the current situation and the urgent need for coordinated action.
The hardest task ahead is rebuilding. That is why we have declared a state of emergency to expedite processes and overcome institutional delays. We are also planning to establish the Rebuild Sri Lanka Fund, managed by a joint committee of public and private sector representatives. We will need significant financial assistance because this disaster struck just as our economy was recovering. This crisis will strain our economy, so we must secure aid and raise funds urgently. Agriculture is another priority. Discussions with the Agriculture Secretary revealed that vast paddy fields have been destroyed. However, reports indicate that some areas are recovering as floodwaters recede. If we restart cultivation now, we still have time since it's early December. We need seeds and fertilizers immediately. The Agriculture Ministry must ensure there is no shortage of inputs. We also need to revive small and medium industries, especially rural enterprises that have collapsed. Financial support and other facilities must be provided. Livestock farms have also been wiped out. These are vital to our economy. We must assist them to restore livelihoods. Resettling displaced families and supporting them until they regain economic stability is essential for this. We need funds. To rebuild the country, we need accurate district-level reports on damage and estimated costs. Submit these urgently so we can prepare a consolidated estimate. We have already authorized divisional secretaries to spend up to 500 million rupees through circulars. Around 30 billion rupees remains in the contingency budget, and if needed, we can seek parliamentary approval for supplementary allocations. This is a massive disaster, and rebuilding will require a strong state mechanism. The government must lead this effort. We cannot fail in our responsibility to the people. I know our public service is strong. Let's work efficiently without being bogged down by routine procedures. The state must coordinate all stakeholders under a clear plan. If we act with such a plan, we can overcome this situation quickly and lay the foundation for rebuilding the nation.
The president also instructed detectives to immediately inquire into the spread of false rumors on the Kothmale Dam.
A serious issue has emerged. Last night, a rumor spread claiming there was a risk of the Kothmale Dam exploding. This caused widespread panic, with people running on roads at midnight in fear. I immediately informed the IGP and our intelligence services to investigate urgently and identify who spread this rumor. We cannot allow such situations to create unnecessary fear among the public. Please pay close attention to this matter.
Last night, the Kothmale siren was misinterpreted. I spoke to the DIG and, as you instructed, ordered an investigation to identify those responsible. That process is underway, Mr. President.
The Sri Lanka Economic and Investment Summit 2025, organised by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, took place in Colombo today. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri expressed the government's vision for recuperation and regrowth.
The Sri Lanka Economic and Investment Summit 2025, hosted by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, was held today in Colombo. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuri expressed the government's vision for recuperation and regrowth.
Communication has more or less been established throughout the country. Water supplies also to a large extent. There were lots of concerns about water, but this has also been largely restored now with the flood waters receding. Power is still an issue, particularly in Nuwara and Badulla and parts of Kandy.
Building Sri Lanka is much more than a fund.
It's much more than a fund. I mean, the fund is one part of it. There's a whole vision and idea behind this, which is pretty much the same vision that we had for the country when we in our manifesto. But now it requires a bigger effort, a more concerted commitment from us all to make this really happen, that this catastrophe is not going to take us away from that vision that we came with for this country.
For the hundreds of thousands of tourists who are planning to come for winter holidays, I would like to have some messaging from you.
Please come. Please don't cancel on us. Adjust your plans. If you wanted to go to Nuwara, maybe, think of another destination, but we have plenty of destinations. Plenty. This is when we need you the most. You could be of the greatest help, and there are parts of the country which are recovering and which will recover and which are ready to welcome you, ready to host you. Areas that are not impacted by the cyclone, and even areas that are impacted by the cyclone, which are going to recover in a couple of weeks and which can. I mean, the very fact that you held this event is, I think, testament to the fact that we will carry on.
India has granted permission for Pakistan aircraft carrying humanitarian aid for Sri Lanka to use its airspace. A significant move given the backdrop of restrictions on airspace usage between the two countries.
In view of the emergency disaster situation in Sri Lanka, India announced that it had taken steps to quickly approve airspace access for Pakistan flights delivering essential relief. According to Indian authorities on Monday, Pakistan requested clearance for one of its aircrafts carrying humanitarian supplies to fly through Indian airspace, and approval was granted within 4 hours. India emphasized that these approvals are being provided under a special procedure for humanitarian missions, ensuring aid reaches Sri Lanka without delay. Meanwhile, countries around the world continue to step forward with assistance for the people of Sri Lanka. Earlier today, a UAE Air Force C-17, the world's largest military cargo aircraft, landed at Katunayake Airport, carrying a massive consignment of relief supplies. The shipment included 48 temporary shelters, 2,592 food packs, sufficient for 14 days per family, tents, vehicles for rescue teams and motorcycles for navigating difficult terrain. 3 more similar aircraft are scheduled to arrive in the coming days. China has pledged $1 million in financial assistance and announced plans to donate goods worth 10 million yuan. The Chinese embassy in Colombo stated that the people of China stand firmly with their Sri Lankan brothers and sisters during this crisis. Russian President Vladimir Putin conveyed his condolences in a letter to President Andrukumara Dissanayake, expressing sorrow over the loss of life and destruction caused by floods and landslides. He wished a speedy recovery for all those injured. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended heartfelt condolences and assured that India will stand by Sri Lanka during this difficult time. The President's media division confirmed that under Operation Sagar Bandhu, India will provide continuous assistance for relief, rescue and rebuilding efforts. Pakistan also expressed solidarity, delivering essential supplies to affected families via the PNS Saif naval vessel in coordination with the Sri Lanka Navy. Australia has pledged $1 million Australian dollars for emergency relief and rebuilding, while Nepal announced a contribution of $200,000 for humanitarian assistance. The Maldives has committed $50,000 and 25,000 tins of tuna for displaced families, reinforcing regional solidarity. The United Nations office in Sri Lanka is actively coordinating rescue, emergency relief and rapid recovery programs. Turkey, Cuba, Bangladesh and the European Union, Palestine, Nicaragua and several other nations and international partners have also pledged support, ensuring Sri Lanka is not alone in its journey to rebuild.
In response to the urgent national emergency and the unprecedented humanitarian crisis, Checkport City Colombo Private Limited donated 10 million rupees to the government's newly established Rebuilding Sri Lanka Fund. The donation was officially handed over by Xiong Hong Fen to Dr. Harshana Surya Perumal, Secretary to the Treasury at the Ministry of Finance today.
The generous contributions from the public to the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief mission are now being delivered by air, water and land to communities devastated by the disaster. To reach the most inaccessible areas, the Tri-Forces, police, relief service teams and a large number of volunteers have stepped forward to provide unwavering support.
Within the first 24 hours of the disaster, the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief mission successfully distributed essential supplies to affected regions. Yesterday evening, another consignment of critical relief items was transported to the Ratmalana Air Force Base, and this morning those supplies were airlifted to reach the affected communities. Earlier yesterday, additional relief stocks were dispatched from the Katunayake Air Force Base by air as part of the ongoing mission. Today, a team departed from the MTV-MBC head office premises carrying essential goods for residents in Chilau and Arachikattua. Another team left the MTV-MBC head office today to deliver aid to the distressed communities in Trincomalee. Supplies collected at the Department Broadcasting Centre were distributed today to residents in Angoda and Ambatare Old Road who have been severely impacted. Communities in Hanuwana and Alexandra in Jaila also received assistance through the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief mission. Despite the challenging conditions, the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief mission continues to reach even the most difficult areas. Last night, relief was distributed in several locations in Badulla and Haliala with the participation of Badulla District Secretary Prabhat Abewardena and other state officials. Matare District Secretary Prasanna Madanayaka and officials also joined efforts yesterday to deliver aid to affected communities in the district. In Katunayaka's Avrivatta area, relief was distributed last night to families in distress. The Sri Lanka Army, Sarvodaya Movement and the Sri Lanka Life Saving Association have partnered with the Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra flood relief mission to strengthen this humanitarian effort. Under the supervision of Army Commander Lieutenant General Lasanta Rodrigo, the Army is providing full support to the mission. Collection centres remain open for your contributions at MTV-MBC head office premises, Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, the Department Broadcasting Centre, Kotehena Satya Sai Baba Centre and Kandy City Centre. This afternoon, Sri Lanka cricket head coach Sanath Jayasuriya visited the Department Broadcasting Centre to extend his support to the mission. Additionally, a new collection point has been opened at Kahaduwatta Junction in Galle.
The Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra. Sri Lanka needs you. Please donate the following dry rations and help those who need it the most. Rice, dal, noodles, soya meat, canned fish and biscuits. You can hand over these items at the following collection points: the MTV head office, Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, the Deparnama Studio Complex in Panipitia, the Kandy City Centre in Kandy and the Sri Satya Sai Baba Centre in Kotahena. For further inquiries, please call 076 552 5000. Together, we can make a difference.
The Department of Examination has decided to hold the remaining subjects of the GCE Advanced Level Examination in January next year. Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Nalaka Kalueva, said that universities, national colleges of education and vocational education institutions that were not affected by the disasters are expected to reopen on the 8th of December.
අපි දෙසැම්බර් මාසය තුලදී
The reason we do not plan to hold the GCE advanced level examination in December is that we have instructed the Commissioner General of Examinations to review the current situation and hold the exam at the earliest possible date in January. The Commissioner General of Examinations will review the exact dates again and issue an official announcement after the review.
Meanwhile, schools in the least affected districts and provinces are scheduled to reopen on the 16th of December.
දෙසැම්බර් 16 වන දින අපි පාසල් ආරම්භ කිරීමට කටයුතු කරන බව තමයි අපි මේ අවස්ථාවට දැනුම් දී තිබෙන්නේ.
We have informed that schools are planned to reopen on the 16th of December. After reviewing the country's situation again, we have concluded that it is not possible to reopen schools in the areas directly affected by the disaster by that date. Our current decision is to reopen schools by sections, provinces or district. Accordingly, we are working to start school activities in the least affected districts and provinces on the 16th of December. We will announce which provinces and districts very soon. However, we do not expect schools in the affected districts and provinces to reopen on the 16th of December. We will provide information about them later.
පාසල් දෙසැම්බර් 16 වන දින ආරම්භ කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ පිළිබඳව අපි පසුව දැනුම් දීමට සිදු කරනවා.
Universities, national colleges of education and vocational education institutions are scheduled to reopen on the 8th of December.
දෙසැම්බර් 8 වෙනිදායින් පස්සේ
After the 8th of December, universities and other higher education institutions will be able to review the current situation and restart their studies. However, if a university is facing practical difficulties, it may decide its own date to resume studies. Similarly, if the national colleges of education face any specific issues, their deans can decide when studies should restart.
තීරණය කිරීමට ඒ අධ්‍යයන කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරන්නේ කවද්ද කියන කාරණය.
The Met Department states that the northeast monsoon conditions are expected to gradually establish across the island over the next few days. Now, due to this, an increase in rainfall can be expected in the north, north central, eastern, Ua and central provinces of the island starting from the day after tomorrow. Now, the death toll from the disaster caused by the adverse weather has risen to 465. The number of missing persons stands at 336. A total of 1,466,615 people belonging to 407,594 families have been affected. 233,015 people are being sheltered at 1,441 safe shelters. Meanwhile, joint relief operations have been further intensified to assist those affected by the trail of destruction left by Cyclone Ditwa. Alongside the tri-forces and police, a large number of volunteers have joined hands, while international support has also arrived from countries including India, Pakistan and Japan.
Indian and Pakistani relief teams working in close coordination with Sri Lanka's tri-forces have been rescuing stranded communities by land, air and water for several days. Today, the Navy undertook a critical mission to transfer a heart patient in critical condition from Silavathura to Manor Hospital for emergency treatment. Yesterday evening, 21 foreign nationals stranded in Nuwara were airlifted to Karunayaka Air Force Base aboard an Mi-17 helicopter from Anuradhapura Air Force Base.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Residents trapped in Godatua were rescued by officers of the Police Special Task Force from the Sri Javardhanapura camp. A group stranded in Nagala, Matale was rescued by an Indian Air Force helicopter. Navy disaster relief teams evacuated flood victims from Navagamua. In Mana's Illuppu Kadavai and Settikulam areas, 157 people trapped by floods were rescued by the Navy. Army personnel assisted in relocating stranded groups from Narangala, Aranayaka to safe locations. The army also facilitated the transfer of displaced residents from Pugoda, Kotunna, Pattivila and Malwana to safety. A joint operation launched on the 29th continues in Mana to rescue flood victims, led by the Navy and Army. During this mission, 58 individuals from Mana, Nanathan, Murungan, Vidayanakulam and Settikulam were relocated to safe zones. Indian Air Force helicopters helped evacuate displaced residents from Kotmale and Nuwara to safe locations. Today, 24 individuals, including foreign nationals stranded in Kotmale, were airlifted to Karunayaka Air Force Base aboard an Indian Air Force Mi-17 helicopter. On the 30th, Navy conducted a special operation to rescue a group including an elderly woman trapped in a house in Pahalagama Jayala due to flooding. The Tri-Force's efforts go beyond saving lives. They're restoring normalcy by delivering food, repairing roads, providing essential healthcare, fuel and water supply services. Due to the disaster, travel along the Kadahapola, Nuwara and Rangala roads was severely disrupted. The Army has restored these routes to ensure safe passage. Today, the Army began repairs of the Nayaru Bridge in Mullaitivu. Troops also launched a fuel supply operation to restore transmission services at the Karagastana Broadcasting Centre. Food was airlifted today to residents stranded in Angoda.
Sri Lanka's railway system has sustained serious damage following multiple landslides, earth slips and rockfalls triggered by the recent natural disaster. Here is the latest situation report.
The upcountry railway line has been severely damaged due to the disaster conditions. The Mahavali River overflow has caused extensive damage to the Peradeniya Yaka Bridge, a critical link on the route. Comparison of the Peradeniya Yaka Bridge then and now shows the scale of destruction. A major landslide at Ulapane Gadolbokua has completely destroyed a section of the upcountry railway line.
විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ස්ථානයෙන් උඩරට දුම්රිය මාර්ගය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම බාධා වී ඇති ආකාරයක් අපිට නිරීක්ෂණය කරන්නට පුළුවන්. උලපනේ දුම්රිය ස්ථානයත් නාලුපිටිය දුම්රිය ස්ථානයත් මැද තමයි මා මේ රැඳී සිටින ගඩොල්බෝකුව නම් වූ ප්‍රදේශයේ පිහිටා ඇත්තේ. එය පිළිසකර කිරීමට යම් කාලයක් ගතවනු ඇති බවටයි වාර්තා වන්නේ.
Severe damage has also been reported near Kadugannawa and close to Balana railway station. Repair work on the railway line has already commenced. A landslide between Alawa and Bujjamur stations has caused severe damage to the track. Restoration work is currently underway. The Kandy-Matale railway line has suffered significant damage as well. The disaster has also devastated the Polonnaruwa-Batiklo railway line. A 2.5-kilometer stretch from Gallaela to Manampiti has been completely destroyed. Officials confirm that 675 sleepers have been damaged. Damage to the railway line in the Kantale area has also been reported.
Relief teams are now reaching multiple regions devastated by the sudden disasters triggered by cyclone Ditwa. Many of these areas have faced severe communication breakdowns for several days, while access routes remain blocked. Now, Newsfirst continued its mission today, reaching several such locations.
This is the Nelummala village in Hasalaka. On the 27th, a massive landslide struck this village, claiming the lives of 22 residents, including 2 young children. Their bodies were recovered yesterday morning. The landslide began from the upper slopes of Yahangala mountain and swept down into the village, leaving behind scenes of unimaginable destruction. Out of 13 houses in the village, 12 have been completely destroyed. Current reports indicate that nearly 30 individuals were inside those homes at the time of the disaster.
There were 13 families in Nelummala, except for one. All were wiped out. Around 35 families lived here. 4 injured individuals have been taken to hospital.
Yesterday morning, the 22 bodies recovered were placed at the Udatwa Pamunupura school and later laid to rest in the afternoon. This is Gangoda in Ududumbara. The bodies of 15 people, including 3 children who died in a landslide that occurred in Gangoda, Ududumbara, have been recovered so far. Above the village, a natural stream ran along the mountain range. Due to heavy rainfall, the increased water flow caused the banks of the stream, along with the adjacent land, to collapse and form the landslide. Newsfirst correspondent said that the landslide, which occurred around 12:45 am on the 27th, completely buried about 12 houses. Rescue efforts are still underway to search for the individuals who are still reported missing. A landslide on the 27th buried a row of estate houses in Dadugala and Gangavaraliya within the Bulat Kohupitiya Divisional Secretariat. According to reports, 7 families, 12 individuals in total were inside these homes. Search operations have been ongoing for several days, led by officers from the Beragala Army Camp and the police. So far, 5 bodies have been recovered. Date 27th November 2025. Time 6:55 p.m. A sudden landslide occurred at Khabaragala, burying 12 families in Paragalaganga, Ihala Korale. Currently, all access routes to the area remain blocked. Despite the extreme difficulty, A Newsfirst team reached the location today via challenging paths. No official relief teams have been able to reach the site yet. Villagers continue relentless search efforts to locate missing persons with whatever resources they have. So far, 7 bodies have been recovered, while villagers are still searching for 6 more victims in an ongoing operation.
දෙපැත්තම ගම් වතුර වගේ පොඩක් ගලා ගනවා. ඊරවල දෙකක ගම් වතුර ඉල ගලා ගනවා මඩ පිටින්. ඒ අනතුරු ඒ වේලාවදී අපේ ලේලි පොඩි පුතායි එයාගේ කාමරේට ගියා. කාමරේට ගිහලා විනාඩි 2ක් අතරදී ඩීලි ගාලා ඇවිල්ලා ගලක් වැදුනා. ගලක් වැදිච්ච ගමන් මම ඊචාර් එකේ බුදියාගෙන හිටියේ. බුදියාගෙන ඉන්නලා මගේ ඇඟට බිත්තිය කඩාන වැටුණා. වැටිච්ච පාර බිත්තියෙන් මට එළියට එන්න බෑ උස්ම ගන්න බෑ. මගේ පවුල කෙනෙක් එයි මෙන්නකෝ මාව බේරන්නකෝ කිව්වා. ඒ අතරතුරදී මම පවුල ගොඩ ගත්තා. ගොඩ ගත්තා කියන්නේ ඇදලා ගන්නකොට කකුල් දෙක කැඩිලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් නාලි පිටේ රෝහලේ තියන් ඉන්නවා. පුතා මගේ පුතාව ගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඒක ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම මගේ පුතාව ගන්න බෑ. මගේ නන්නම නැති වුණා. මගේ ලෑලි මගේ පළවෙනි දරුවා පුතාගේ පළවෙනි දරුවා නැති වුණා. ඇත්තම ඊයේ තමයි භූමි දානම් කරේ.
Meanwhile, 65 families from the danger zone have been evacuated and temporarily sheltered at Paragala Craighead Tamil School, which our team also visited. The Irrigation Department reports that the major flood threat in the Kalani River has now eased. At the Nagalagam Street gauge, the water level was 6.9 feet at 2 p.m. today. By 6:30 p.m., it had dropped to 6.75 feet below the major flood level of 7 feet. Additionally, water levels in rivers and reservoirs including Kaluganga and Malwatu Oya are receding. Due to the disaster situation, 68,857 families, a total of 269,403 people in Colombo district remain affected. 3 deaths have been reported and 2 people are missing. Although rainfall has reduced, several areas in Colombo district remain submerged, disrupting daily life and road access. This was the situation in Kaduwala this morning. Floodwaters have not yet receded in Kaduwala town. This was the situation in Vallampitiya Velewata this morning. Nadigama in Kalaniya is also underwater. Kulannava, Angoda and several other areas are still inundated. In Gampaha district, 205,189 people from 53,473 families are affected. Floods have claimed 11 lives while 2 remain missing. 117 safe centers are sheltering 23,328 individuals from 5,702 families. Several homes in Wattala and Mahabage Udgahapitiya remain underwater while others are being cleaned as waters recede. Meanwhile, the Colombo-Minuangoda road at Kotugoda Junction in Gampaha is still submerged.
As a nation that once endured the devastation of a tsunami, we are now facing one of the most severe natural disasters in recent history. For the past 7 days, government officials have worked tirelessly, sacrificing sleep and even risking their own lives to protect and assist those affected. We have witnessed this with our own eyes. There are still countless areas so remote that reaching them seems almost impossible. The Tri-Forces continue their relentless efforts to access these locations under extreme conditions. This is a moment when the entire nation is striving together to rise above this catastrophe. Yet, in the midst of this national crisis, a handful of opposition figures appear to be exploiting the situation for political gain, clinging to hollow expectations. This special report is on that. While the entire nation suffers from a devastating natural disaster, a group of opposition politicians who walked out of parliament disrupting the approval of budgetary funds for 4 key ministries arrived today at the Kandy district secretariat with hollow political ambitions. Among them were Sujeeva Senasinghe, Dilip Jayavira, M.A. Sumantiran, Mano Ganeshan, Anuradha Jayaratna and Dilum Amunugama. This group not only interfered with the duties of the Kandy district secretary, who has been working tirelessly for a week without rest to assist affected citizens, but also questioned officials in the midst of a national crisis. This is the worst natural disaster our country has faced since the tsunami triggered by a cyclone, over 500 millimeters of torrential rains, landslides and floods that devastated communities within hours. While the nation struggles to rise together, these opportunistic groups attempt to exploit the tragedy for political gain. Who are they? The same individuals who posted pictures with bananas during the great floods. The same who justified the bond scam that robbed 9 billion rupees from workers' retirement funds in seconds. The ones who tried to dismantle committees investigating corruption. The ones who turned the COVID pandemic into benefit. The ones rejected by the people. The ones who stole the nation for their selfish ambitions. The ones who vanished for weeks and suddenly reappeared. Now, what are they trying to do? Sacrifice suffering citizens for political greed? This is a natural disaster. We are all united in facing it. The entire country stands together for the helpless. But these opportunists seem to want one thing: to see the nation fall. They predicted collapse during the India-Pakistan crisis, the Israel-Iran conflict and the US tariff wars. Now they say the same in the midst of this disaster. Political opportunists waiting for this country to fail. We know who they are, and if needed, we will reveal it all. Let our public servants do their job.
Newsfirst, with the people.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
අපේම මිනිසුන් වෙනුවෙන් අපේ මනුෂ්‍යත්වයේ දෑත් දෙකු කරමු. සිරස ශක්ති සහන යාත්‍රා.
සහල්,
පරිප්පු,
සොයමිට්,
ටින්මාලු,
නූඩල්ස්,
බිස්කට්
ඔබට හැකි පමණ ගෙනවිත් බාර දෙන්න.
භාණ්ඩ එකතු කිරීමේ මධ්‍යස්ථාන.
කොළඹ 2 සිරස මාධ්‍යශාලයේ මූලස්ථානය.
දෙපානම විකාශන මධ්‍යස්ථානය.
මහනුවර කැන්ඩි සිටි සෙන්ටර් පරිශ්‍රය.
ගාල්ල කහදුවවත්ත මන්සන්ධියේ සහන යාත්‍රා මෙහෙයුම් මැදිරිය. සිරස ශක්ති සහන යාත්‍රා.
ඉන්න විපතට පත් ජීවිත වෙත සහනයක් වන්නට.
අපත් සමග එකතු වන්න. සිරස ශක්ති සහන යාත්‍රා ශනික ඇමතුම් අංකය 076 55 25 03.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga S. Botharagama today ordered that former Minister C.B. Ratnayaka, who was arrested by the Bribery Commission and produced before the court, be remanded until the 16th. Producing the suspect in court, officials from the Bribery Commission said that this investigation was launched following an anonymous complaint received in March 2015.
The investigating officer informed the court that facts were revealed regarding the illegal acquisition of assets exceeding 57.3 million rupees beyond his legal income during the period between the 31st March 2011 and the 31st March 2013, and that the suspect has failed to definitively explain how those assets were acquired. The officer further said that the suspect had claimed that a deceased brother gave him 10 million rupees and another friend also gave him 10 million rupees. The officer informed the court that the suspect also stated that he had got money by selling the duty-free vehicle permit received as a member of parliament, and the officers requested that the suspect be remanded. Attorney Tishya Veragoda, who appeared for the suspect, stated that the suspect has fully cooperated with the Bribery Commission for this investigation. He further pointed out that the suspect is a politician, and since his constituents in the Valapane area are severely affected by the current disaster situation, the suspect should be given the opportunity to go and provide relief to them. Considering the facts, the Chief Magistrate ordered for the suspect to be remanded until the 16th December.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV 1 for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.